Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on this channel. Thank you so much for staying tuned to another video. Well, today I want to talk about another Hot Wheels Fantasy Castings. This is BONESHAKER. This is 2006 release. This is the first edition, and it's been in my collection for quite a while, since I was 6th grade, when I was probably 12 years old. And I just really love BONESHAKER. It's a Larry Wood design. It's a original hot rod, and I always love American classic hot rods, muscle cars, and all of that jazz. And do you know what's better than this thing? A bigger scale. Alright, so we got the 1/64 scale Hot Wheels BONESHAKER and 1/43 scale Hot Wheels BONESHAKER, and they both got quite the same color, but you know, this one is chrome and this one is gold. But I really love Hot Wheels doing this. I know I've been talking a lot in my previous video about Hot Wheels Fantasy Castings not getting too much love. It's not getting, you know, all the love that it needs. It's kind of been overlooked by a lot of collectors out there, but you know, I'm just so glad that Hot Wheels actually came up with this thing. This 1/43 scale of Hot Wheels Pullback Speeders. Now, Hot Wheels Pullback Speeders already going on since 2021, I think 21 to 22, and they released BONESHAKER as well. I'm gonna put the pictures here. You can see in the pictures that the first release of Hot Wheels Pullback Speeders is not really looking really nice, in my opinion. It doesn't have any chromes. It doesn't have, like, you know, the eye candy thing. And then this came in. I think what Hot Wheels trying to do here is they are kind of, you know, putting a little bit more efforts to the 1/43 scale, and I think that is just a wonderful thing to do. And I'm so glad Hot Wheels actually put a lot of their fantasy castings on this release, Hot Wheels Pullback Speeders. And this is how it looks like. This is the packaging that it came with. It looked a little bit something like this. And this one is a GT Scorcher. I love GT Scorchers. So it got some logos right here. Hot Wheels Pullback Speeders. It's metal. The body is metal, so it's pullback. You can pull it back a little bit, and it's, you know, like wind it up, and it's gonna move forward. Like here, gotta show you how it's working. So got a little motor in it. So there's a little bit of a playability with that thing, and the packaging itself. And you can see here. You can see in the packaging right here, there is a special features on each cars. So each cars have their own special abilities, like openable hood or doors, and sometimes a rattling engines and exhaust, which is pretty cool. And here is how it looks outside the box. And it's kind of cool because it looks like Hot Wheels track, you know, Hot Wheels orange track. And you can take it over, and here it is. And this is the size if you compare it to 1/64 Hot Wheels. And like what is in the box head, this thing got openable hood. Look at that. That is just so cool, man. I don't know what to tell you, but that is just an absolute win to me. You know, this is the stuff that I didn't think, you know, Hot Wheels could do anymore with their 1/64 scale, because in Matchbox they have to do, like, if you want an openable hood or doors or etc., you gotta have to put it in a moving parts sections. But the basic Matchbox didn't get that, or basic Hot Wheels. I don't think basic Hot Wheels also have those things anymore. But it's pretty cool. They put those things in the 1/43 scale. And I know out there's a Hot Wheels 1/43 scale, like the Mustang, like the Jeep, And the Nissan Skyline, I mean, those things are pretty pricey, but this thing is not as pricey as those things, but still have a pretty good details on them. And I just love the fact that Hot Wheels, you know, keep doing their fantasy castings into 1/43rd scale, because, you know, if you wanted the Nissan Skyline maybe, or Ford Mustang or Jeep, you know, there is a ton of other toy makers out there doing the same thing. But to do a fantasy cars with a larger scale like this, with a whole metal body and a very, very cool design, only Hot Wheels ever do that. I mean, with an openable hood like this, you could see the engine right there. There's inline 4. I mean, that's feasible in the Hot Wheels 1/64 scale and the GT Scorcher. I don't have a GT Scorcher just yet, you know, 1/64 scale. But, you know, you could see the engine there, but you can't really open the hood. But this thing just brings a whole another dimension to the GT Scorcher. And I just absolutely adore the design of it. This one got an open hood. And the BONESHAKER, it's got this rattling engine. Got this rattling engine effects. Look at that. When this thing moving towards you, you can see the engine is actually kind of shaking. Hence the name BONESHAKER, huh? It's pretty cool. Absolutely cool. Look at that. The engines is rattling. And this really cool features is pretty awesome. I don't think any other toy brands ever pull this thing off. You know, stuff like this. I mean, yeah, some of them have this opening hood features and showing the engine, the doors are open, but a rattling engine with a big V8, I never see any other toys does that. I don't know, but that is just absolutely cool. Park my 1/64 scale right there, and that is just really cool. My point here is, I've been complaining about Hot Wheels Fantasy castings a lot lately, that it was overlooked and it was not really loved by collectors. But the fact that Hot Wheels actually made 1/43rd scale of this fantasy casting they have, that's a pretty cool thing. That's really cool, and I'm appreciate that a lot. And I'm of course collecting all of these things because I collect a lot of not just 1/64 scale cars. I also collected many sizes, and I'm just so glad that Hot Wheels actually came up with this thing. The Hot Wheels Pullback Speeders. They actually put a little bit more into the Pullback Speeder line and make it really interesting, and it's not really hurting your wallet because it's not as expensive as the Nissan Skyline, Ford Mustang, the Corvette 1/43rd scale. This is a lot cheaper than that, and it has those features. It's pretty cool, and it is a fantasy casting, so that is pretty radical. And talking about Hot Wheels fantasy casting, I found one of the newer castings that I love, and that is Melded. But even though I love the design of it, this thing is pretty cool. It got twin turbos up front, and oh wait, I'm not gonna open that just yet. So just gonna take a look at the packaging here. Is pretty nice. The illustrations also have really detailed twin turbo engine right there. But do I satisfied with this thing? Yes, this thing is awesome looking, but there's actually one thing that I really hate about these things. It got really small wheels. These wheels up front, that is the smallest wheel made by Hot Wheels. And I just noticed that Hot Wheels actually been doing that a lot recently with some of their lines. Like in Glory Chaser, they also using a really tiny front tires, which is I just don't like them. Being this small, because if you want to customize them, you have to get the smaller wheels, and that is just hard, and it doesn't have very much variations. It sucks, right? You know, these small wheels, it's really hard to find to wheel swap them, because there are no cool real rider tires in this size. It's just pretty difficult, and I just don't like Hot Wheels doing stuff like this. At the first glance, I thought it was as small as this thing. This is the number 10, by the way. This is like the smallest Hot Wheels tires you could get before. And now it's even smaller than that. I mean, come on. I mean, if you could, swap it with that wheels, that would be great. But that is just way too small. And it's not just the wheels that are getting smaller, but the whole Hot Wheels are getting smaller. I mean, this is a delivery car, and I know delivery mail car were not supposed to be, gigantic. They were like really small cars, short cars, whatever. But in terms of delivery cars, here are some of the older Hot Wheels delivery cars that I have. And I know this is not a basic car, but this is a 1955 Chevy panel, and you can see the size here. The size different. These both are delivery cars. This is a delivery car, and this is a delivery car. And look at the size of that. That's a pretty massive difference, right? And then I got my daily delivery. Jeez, man, I can't talk right now. The dairy delivery. And look at the different size of that. Dude, look at that. That's just crazy difference, right? This is a lot smaller than what it was. I mean, this is what Hot Wheels supposed to be when they're making a delivery car. And back in the day, it was made the whole thing with, metal body. And I got another delivery car here. It comes blown delivery, and look at that. That is just crazy size difference. I mean, come on, Hot Wheels. Meld it. It's just way too small. It's almost it's the same. It's as big. It's as long as the catapult, and the catapult is a very small car from older Hot Wheels casting. Fantasy castings, because it was based on Cheetah, and Cheetah is like a Shelby Cobra or something look like that, and that's pretty small car. So it makes sense when they make something this small for a small car. But this thing is too small, man. Come on now. It's a delivery car. Even other Hot Wheels SUV cars, not that small. Come on, I mean, look at that. This is what the Hot Wheels size used to be, It's quite big, it's quite long for an SUV or a delivery car. Even Hot Wheels Hummer H2 was this big. And this is a basic car, regular car at least. I just wheel swapped it with some real rider tires, but you can see the sheer size of the older Hot Wheels compared to the newer Hot Wheels. Oh man, look at that. This is just way too small. Come on, Hot Wheels. I know you guys are trying to, keep the Hot Wheels staying $1 per car, but I just don't like these smaller wheels. I mean, okay, you got it. You got it right this time, Hot Wheels. From the body design wise, it's really looking real nice, looking real great. And the only thing I thing to do is, you know, swap out these tires, because I don't really like these plastic tires. I wanted to make them look more premium and wanted to wheel swap them. But the smaller wheels like this, it's just a pain in the butt to change, because there's no much Hot Wheels tires this size, you know, the real rider tires with this size, and it just annoys. That just annoys me. At least, you know, put it as big as this thing, the 10 millimeters, not the 8 millimeters. This is 8 millimeters, by the way, and this is 10 millimeters. And on the rear here, they use the number 12, I think. But the older Hot Wheels, like this thing, they're usually using the bigger wheels. This is like the 12. So this is the front wheel of this Hot Wheels is the rear wheel of this Hot Wheels. Look at that. That's insane, right? And this is what Hot Wheels size is supposed to be back in the day. So yeah, that's just crazy. Just my little rant right here, right now. But I'm just so glad Hot Wheels came up with the bigger size. I just wish to see this thing maybe in a bigger scale one day or another. Well, thank you so much, guys, for watching, and we'll see you soon in another video. God bless you guys. Stay faithful. Bye-bye.